In do mode here. I feel the motivation actually, because the time is actually getting compressed, because I don't have any time to operate within, I just have to go. So that's a positive. That's just a positive right there, because now we're actually in movement as opposed to just being sad. Okay, so let's take this guy and turn it into a volume. Shader, new. Yeah, also it's OC 161. I'm pretty stressed out. Volume scatter. There, pop it out. What the hell? That makes no sense to me. Ah. So that just does a square, but shouldn't that... So it's a square, but what? Oh, that doesn't work. Hey, let's open up. Oh, I have to open up the experimental version of Blender. Hey, I don't mind this now. We're moving. Okay, let's just close this. Close window. Don't save. So we're gonna grab this bad boy, we're gonna go, and then I guess we turn this, actually, volume, empty. Like maybe I try this cube and I convert this, whatever, I'll delete this, so go. I'm pretty sure this is how this works. That's not how this works. Hey, here it is.
Long story short, you can take your elements and meshes and change these 9-1. I open up. I swear to God, every time I open up Blender, shit's getting more complicated. Last time we, example. By the way, once we go over this kind of like dumb little example, we're upgrading. Just keep that, shape that with proportion sting, then a cube. Before as you shift A, volume empty. So this is a volume object that has nothing in it because that's what we chose, and we have to give it information to use. So modifiers, we're going to add in a mesh to volume. In other words, we're telling empty, we're telling Blender, look.
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. So let's go to echo. Oh, there you are. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Get out of here. Modifier. Mesh to volume. Object. Okay.
Look at this empty and say, what am I trying to say? I'm saying take this mesh and convert it into a volume. Which mesh? Damn, which mesh? This one, okay? So we took this mesh, converted it into a volume because this is a modifier, it's completely procedural. And with that, we can actually stack different kinds of modifiers. So we could add in a volume displace. This was the idea of adding a 3D displacement, just so it looks a bit more like a cloud. So we're gonna use a cloud texture. All of this was covered in the previous video. You know, it's nothing crazy. You could just change settings here and make it higher resolution, so higher voxel counts, and we can also make it more dense so you can see what's going on. Long story short, you have a mesh and you converted it into a volume. So now how do we take this a step further? We've entered kindergarten. How do we go to first grade? Well, we do Shift A, enter, not enter, add any kind of mesh that you want. I'm going to use a plane or a cube, or actually any of these are going to work because again it's a modifier based effect. So let's add in a cube, for example. With this mesh, again, independent of what it is, you are going to add in a volume to mesh modifier. This is the new modifier, this is the big deal. So volume to mesh, in the same way that before we had to select a mesh, now we need to select a volume to use. So we are going to select this volume right here, and you can see that automatically this has created a mesh surrounding the kind of the boundary, the outskirts of our volume. Okay, and we do have a couple parameters that we can mess with. First of all, add activity, which is kind of the easier one to think about. This is kind of like decimation. It kind of takes our mesh and says, use less polygons, which is a big deal, you know, if your volume's crazy. So here you can see it's very decimated and not at all, etc. So that's add activity, whereas threshold is basically telling Blender, how do you want this volume to be converted into a mesh? We go to a higher value, it's going to go kind of into the interior of the volume because it's looking at different densities and it needs to have a higher density for this to turn into a mesh, whereas if we go very small, basically any tiny wisp of smoke is going to count, okay? So think of this as a slider that says what density should I include in the boundary of this mesh, right? So how do I want to do this, and then how much decimation do I want? And then of course you can do smooth shading and all that. And again, the idea behind this, why this is so attractive, so alluring, is because the whole thing's procedural. So if I mess with the original mesh that is converted into a volume that is converted into a mesh, you can see it kind of does the whole stack. So again, there is a question of what is the point of having a mesh, you know, a volume convert into a mesh, and I'll give you one example of why that is, but it does work, it does exist, and it does crash about 90% of the time. You have a better chance flipping a coin than to get Blender to not crash here, okay? So let's level up with a harder, not a harder, just a cooler example. So from before I said that I had this Houdini. Yes, this has temperature, heat, density, actually updates very quickly. This is a modifier. We can actually add in modifiers on top. So for example, kind of a weird one that you might consider is a remesh modifier. So this is just to kind of smooth it out, but what I like to do is set it to blocks. And now you have, depending on, you know, how many blocks you want, you have a kind of blocky based explosion. You can mess with settings here again to change how this whole thing interacts and create a Lego based explosion. You could probably also, I haven't tested this, but maybe a wireframe modifier. So now you have a wire based explosion that kind of updates procedurally and all this. The possibilities indeed are endless. Well, not really. You do have a limited number of things you can try, but this is just a cool thing. I haven't tested out if I can get shading to carry over from the volume into the mesh. I assume not, because that sounds very complicated with a lot of UV advection stuff, but I do have a tutorial in the pipeline about, first of all, how to make this explosion in Houdini and control different settings, and then also how do we maybe turn this into an anime explosion or something like that? I haven't thought about it fully yet, but wow, that is interesting. Looks cool, especially when you go to rendered mode and you can see all the lighting interactions and all that. It's kind of a way to make actual mesh clouds, not, you know, mesh-based clouds, but mesh clouds themselves, which, again, you can, you know, mess around with. You can actually displace this volume, which I do expect to crash, but let's see what happens. Can I add in some noise to a pre-made Houdini simulation? It looks like the answer is yes. And it does seem to mess with quite a few of the outcomes, so this is not working out the way I expected it to, so I guess I may as well wrap up here. Anyways, I hope you learned something. 2.91 is getting crazy. This is such a cool way to do an explosion. 2.91 is getting crazy. If you want to access 2 exclusive tutorials, by the way, I made one recently about this Yoshi 8-bit effect from beginning to end, a 3-part mini-series that quite frankly goes on for too long. It's an hour and a half. That's an exclusive tutorial. If you're interested in stuff like this, in project files, I'll upload the VDB sequence for this, in behind the scenes, all that. Patreon is the place to do that, so go check that out if you want the exclusive tutorials, if you want this, if you want that, or if you're just a big fan of CG Matter Default Cube. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and that's it. I'm fucking out of here. See ya. So something I want to address before we get too deep into this tutorial is why does it sound like I'm a phone sex operator for this one? Why am I trying to seduce you with my kind of like whispering in your ear voice? And that's a very good question, and the answer to that ties into a urgency, a issue that is going to be overhanging this entire tutorial. And that is, if you look at the bottom right corner, you're going to see that it is 11:14, soon 11:15 p.m. Now, those of you who are doing November are probably like shitting their pants right now. You're thinking, oh, I only have like 45 minutes until it's midnight, until this is no longer valid. That is correct. We have like something like 45 minutes to get through this tutorial in completion, meaning if I mess up, I am fucked. If I explain for over 45 minutes, I'm fucked. I do want to follow the rules of November, so we are committing on this take. Whatever happens, happens. So, it's also day 5 of not only November, but no nut November, which means, you know, 5 days of not coming. I'm a bit antsy. But even though I can't cream myself, why not make some cream pie? So for this one...
Oh, he's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. Hey.
So we got like some lights. Let's adjust the modifiers. Please don't crash. Looks terrible. So we have that. Just pull up. I thought this was all procedural. What? What? That doesn't work at all. So it just does not work for sculpting. I thought... Oh, it does work for sculpting. I just have to... That looks like that's right. Basically. $7.18.
I can't see her again?
That's the way it has to be.
Okay. Oh, how to... Is that gonna extruding? Oh, no. Oh. Okay. Oh, I hate how that works. That's lovely. That makes things way harder. My viewport doesn't work. I can't look in a camera. I can't look in a camera. Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. You know what? Maybe this is the wrong way of thinking about it. Like, I don't understand why, like, that works, this works. Like, have I changed this thing up? Done. The hell? That's what Alt Q does. Why would I need that? Why? You know what? This is what I do. I grab this guy, I bring it down here, I scale this bad boy up, bring it down, and then we just turn this into a body, right? We can even just oh, I can't texture that thing. Pretty scared. Hello. Alright. Nice. Friday morning, right? Okay, well, what time were you thinking then? I would be there till then. Saturday, basically the same thing, yeah. Thursday would be the earliest day for the bonfire. And then, so that would be, yeah, that would be like, I'd be done, I should be done maybe like 8:30. I don't know, because it depends. They try to push in as many races during the day, but like they could do 15 races, they could do 11. And the good thing about Thursday is I have Friday morning, right? The other thing is people have called me people have tried to arrange me working on Friday morning on just like a bunch of different like miscellaneous projects. So if I take those calls, then I'll be going for a bit. But I may try to move them. Okay. Bye. Love you. Oh, I understand now. Oh, okay. So if I change it to tweaker, it'll just be like, oh, okay. What am I doing? It's gonna get blocked out anyways. I don't need this to be a box. Okay. Metaballs. Can I do it with a metaball? Oh, I don't think these are meshes. Well, you can definitely turn this into smoke. All you need to do is turn this into volume, which is possible. Oh, wait a second. What is a metaball? I'm really trying to figure this out now. Wow, look at the snapping to grid on these. It's like adjusting it. Whatever. Right. Oh, it's reversed upside down. No wonder that makes sense.
You don't have to be alone.
so close before it merges in, which is about this close. And even then,
Sweet cookie cats. I'll always remember the time we spent together.
I don't know how that was working, but whatever. So that's not working.
Hush now.
This is very frustrating. I'd like move my camera once and then just never leave it. Okay, I'll be readjusting that eventually, but it gave me. Okay, thank you. Dude, like one thing can be messed up with this. There.
You're telling me it doesn't work? Why doesn't this work? Okay, relax.
Relax, it's okay. Wait, do I even need to? Am I stupid? You can add modifiers to these. Hey. Okay. Actually, let's do this.
Wait, is this like the...
That's fine. This is like the case all the time. Okay. Change the background color. I'm gonna need to take a break. I need to take a break.